Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. I don't know what that was about. I was trying to get on here a few times and I don't know, the screen was messing up or something. But anyway, I'm here. I apologize about yesterday. It's just been unexpected things that had came up that I had to take care of. Nothing negative, but just things that I had to take care of. And then it was just too late for me to get on. So thank you for being patient with me. I should have posted something, that I wasn't going to be on, and I apologize for that, guys. So how are you guys doing? How is your day going? I don't know where you are and where you are listening to this from, but we had a lot of rain. It just seemed to stop about a little while ago, but a lot of rain. Um, and the winds were raging, etc. Good day for sleeping. That's how I feel. But anyway, I hope all is well. Before we get into this topic of discussion, I want to remind everyone, especially the newcomers, that I am not a counselor, a social worker, or a therapist. I'm just someone who talks to you guys to let you know that you can get through difficult times of grief, pain, um, and challenges. And I talk about how I became an overcomer of these things, how I kept persevering through all the problems. And not just alone, but with the help of God, because I can never do this alone, guys. It's just impossible, the things I went through. It's like one person going through all this hell and craziness. And I needed to learn lessons. And like I said, when you don't learn lessons the first or second time around, when it comes around again and again, it's worse than ever. So, guys, with that being said, thank you so much for the um, new subscribers as well as the old ones. You know, thank you for being here. Thank you for your comments. It really brings joy to me because it lets me see that these messages are resonating with you. Just talking to you from a point of my own experiences and how I have gotten through a lot of these trials and tribulations. So, guys, with that being said, we're going to talk today. Like I said, everything is always related to healing, but we're going to talk about today. The topic of discussion is turning your pain into power. Turning your pain into power. When you go through a lot of grief, especially I'm going to use myself for an example, it's like, and it comes upon you like during a shutdown, all these deaths, all these sicknesses, all these unexpected occurrences was like a domino. You know how you lined up a bunch of dominoes and then you hit one and it's an automatic effect where all of them fall down. This is how it was during 2020. All these things start to happen unexpectedly and just out of nowhere, and it was hard. I felt like the dark night of the soul or something like that was happening because it was just one event after the other. And then I lost my dog, and that was just it for me. I asked God to help me. And he did, and he still does as I put forth the effort and do the work. And none of it is easy. And I had to let go of a lot of people because I had to first, with therapy, realize that there's something wrong here. And my therapist helped me to look at things from a different perspective, because all I saw is doom and gloom, that pessimistic point of view. And I had to relearn things that I've been taught all my life, guys. How to change my mindset and how to change how I react to things instead of reacting in a ways that people think I should, and I had to, it took time. All of these things I'm sharing with you happened in 2020, 2021, and now we're in 2025. And I feel like a not just a new person, but a different person. I am not that old version of myself anymore. And I thank God for that and for his help because all the things I went through, no one person can go through that by themselves and still be here. So I thank God every day, showing gratitude. I've even made some vows that I talk about, and I carry those vows out, because I'm very grateful because God gave me another chance to get this right. Because, like I said, people, situations, circumstances come into our life for a reason, a season, a lifetime, or a lesson. And many of these things have been unlearned lessons for me. And once I started to really change my mindset, I started to realize that when you are in grief and you're hurting real bad, and everybody who had so-called people who had your back and they were there, and no matter what, people you've known all your life since you were 6 and 7, oh yeah, we're always going to be in your life and help you and etc. And then all these people scattered, they're gone. To me, it was like being left on a Titanic, a sinking Titanic. They all got on a lifeboat and left me there and say, okay, sorry, no more room. Sorry. And then they come back later, a year later, and this is just metaphorically, a year later to see the aftermath of the mess that was left. And I had to realize through therapy and doing the work, doing a pro and a con list, that, hey, these people don't give a damn. They're just here to use me like a doormat to get what they can and then to go their merry way to come back when they need something. And when I started to do the pro and con list, that is when I started to look at things from a different perspective, a different mindset, as my therapist said to me. And this is why the homework I was given, pro and con list, set boundaries. He didn't have a whole lot of words, but I did started to follow along and see where I was making mistakes. Kept repeating these unlearned lessons by bringing toxicity to my front door. Toxic individuals, people who give fake love, fake hugs, fake conversation, just to draw me in like you draw a fish on a hook, so that they can get, what they need from you and then go their merry way and leave you high and dry. And that is the experiences that I was dealing with. And so the person I am today, after the grief and dealing with grief and not being able to, um, get through it right away, it took time and I was able to get through it. I started to see things from a different perspective. And as I did so, guys, I started to see, hey, this is what I did wrong the first and second time around. I have to change this. And instead of succumbing to these problems and pain and situation, because most people would not be able to handle that. But I didn't do it alone. I did it with the help of God. And as I made vows to him, God was just holding my hand and lifting me up during the times that I was alone and everything was gone around me, especially my mom and, not having that relationship. If any of you lost your mom or your dad, you know what I'm talking about. Anybody dear to you. But imagine losing 10 people like that at one space of time during a shutdown, and many people, I don't know if they can relate to that, but I know that I could not succumb to this pain. And what I did the work, on my knees, crawling around, crying. That's an outlet for the pain. That's not a sign of weakness, folks. That is an outlet for the pain because the pain has to be released, And all my life I've been taught, there's an elephant in the room, but, let's walk around it. Let's pretend it's not there, But when you hold that in and you don't deal with what's in front of you, then you stagnate your pain, you prolong it because the pain needs an outlet to be released. And it can't be released if you are ignoring it and pretending that there's not an elephant in the room. And you have to address it, face it head on, go through what you need to go through, folks, so that you can tear down the pain and all of that. And so you can rebuild again. Sometimes things have to be torn down to the ground in order for it to be built again on a solid foundation. And everything I had around me was iffy. It wasn't solid. It was conditions, People, situations, circumstances were only there for conditions. And if those conditions didn't meet their needs, then bye bye, see you later. And everything around me had to fall down to the ground so it can be rebuilt again, and the pain was the outcome from all of it. Severe pain, having to do the work, crying my eyes out, people leaving my life, even me setting boundaries, people disrespecting them. So I had to cut off, block, and delete people leaving my life, the gossip, the lies, the malicious lies. I mean, it was so bad to the point that people who were bitter because I had closed doors were calling police and filing false reports, guys, saying I was doing things that I never did, but there was no evidence of it. And the more they did, the more I persevered and bit and crawled through it. The more they did, the more I prayed to God and took his hand and let him lead me, guys, because I knew that I didn't deserve it. If I did, I would have succumbed to it, but I didn't deserve an ounce of that. And I had to realize, because when you see it, after you look at it from the different perspective and do the work and you see what's going on here, you say, hey, I don't deserve this. And I start the fight, do the work. As I did the work, I stayed in prayer. I did music all the time because music heals the soul, listening to music in prayer. We were in a shutdown, but it took time for me to get to where I am today. I had to build my self confidence up again because it was down less than zero, you know, under the ground because of the maliciousness, the lies, what's worse to me is the deception of it all, pretending, faking things. And I had to let it all go to waste, so that it can be built up again on solid ground. And that's what I did with the help of my therapist, who I still talk to today, who I still have sessions with today. Guys, there's no shame in that, to build yourself up, because your mental and physical health is everything. Without that, you can't function. You can't take care of yourself or anything else around you. And you have to love you. How do you expect anyone to love you if you don't love yourself first or respect yourself? And all this noise of lies and gossip and toxicity, at first it was louder than a fire siren. But as I started to walk away and close doors, cut off, block, and delete, set boundaries, it got lighter and lighter, because now I'm removing the problems out of my life, the toxicity. Then instead of succumbing to the pain, what I did is turn that pain into power into a purpose to move forward, to lift myself up with the help of God, and to keep moving, persevering, biting, and crawling through. And also helping others to do the same by teaching them you don't have to stay in a place of grief. You don't have to be down to the ground in it. You can allow yourself to feel it, but get up and keep going. I knew that my mother and who passed over, my grandparents and father, would never want me to stay in a place of depression and woe is me attitude. I had to learn these lessons, because if I didn't, I would be repeating them over and over again. It's like a movie where the guy wakes up and repeat the same day over and over. I think that's Groundhog Day, over and over, until I said, wait a minute, what is this? And when I started to change my mindset and the way that I dealt with these situations and did the work, then I didn't have to repeat the lesson already over again, because now the lessons have been learned. And once you learn these lessons, you can close those doors, guys, because you don't have to repeat them anymore, because now you've healed and a lesson is learned. And some of these folks from the past will try to come back again, no doubt. But what I do, the best medicine for that, especially the narcissistic ones and the high toxic ones, is my silence. Emails, phone calls, go to voicemail. I read them, listen to them, delete them. There's nothing needs to be said, because I have healed that pain and I've moved forward. And when you go through all these things and you have to rebuild, you leave those things behind the padlocked door and you move forward with your new beginnings, because God has better things when you open up new doors after you did the work to heal your pain. You don't have to succumb to it. You can be an overcomer by taking your power, your pain, and turning it into power and moving forward. And you can also one day be a testimony to somebody else who's going to need your help. That is important because a lot of people are in despair in a time of uncertainty. And we have to know that we don't have to be in that place. You know, there's power in climbing out of these circumstances, you know, and taking God's hand, because I couldn't do it without him. And it doesn't matter what people are saying. You know, to me, that's just noise, unnecessary noise. And it can go on and on and on. It doesn't matter. If I was doing the wrong thing, it would matter. But because I'm not, and you know, and one of the things I had to overcome, which, you know, from time to time it's still become an issue, is because I'm a woman and I'm a woman of color, I'm supposed to be a certain way, I'm supposed to be like that. No, people, I am supposed to be my authentic self. Before I'm a woman of color, I am a daughter of God first, and I'm everything else secondary. And that is important to me first, my relationship with God. And I am not religious, etc., and so forth, but I have a connection with God himself, the source. And that's more important to me than the noise that's around me and what people are talking about. And I had to learn the lesson. And once I give it to God and I work in accordance to what I'm asking for, he does the rest. And, you know, when people are talking and saying all these negative things, listen and learn from that. Because a lot of times they're telling you their own narrative. Because when you look at what they're telling you about a person in question, and you don't see that in their life, because if those things were true, their life would not be going in an upright. It would be a disaster, a train wreck. And when you see, and this is how you know when you research instead of just believing what people are telling you, you know, because it's a distraction. And it's a distraction so nobody will hear the message that they can overcome and they can be a better version of themselves and look at things with a different mindset, from a different perspective. And you will see what the situation is. You don't have to succumb to it. And then when you open up these new doors, there are new situations, better people who will come into your life, authentic ones who will love you as you are and not try to mold you like a piece of clay into what they want you to be. Never allow yourself to fall into that, you know, and keep moving, going forward. Ask God to help you and give you the strength to do so. And always stay humble. And as we help ourselves, and we can help other people by our stories, by letting them know if you can do it, you know, if you can do it, they can do it too. And you know, when we help one another, there's something in that. United we stand, divided we fall. Never allow anyone to bring toxicity into your life, or hate or negativity, because those things is going to stagnate your growth and it's going to create more pain. Let's bring more love and light into the world and help one another as we should. And that's how we grow, heal, and evolve. That's the message today, guys. Share this video with other people. They need to be uplifted so that and motivated so that they know that being the best version of themselves will help them to move forward. And also to know that some of these circumstances that they may be going through may be lessons. And they can continue to persevere through these things. And one day they'll get to a place, you will get to a place of inner peace instead of broken down into pieces. That's the message today, guys. Thank you for being here. I'll see you again tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel, because in that way you will know what time I'm here. Thank you again and have a great day, guys. Bye for now.